Yeah. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. It's been a little quiet. It's been a little quiet, but you know what? We got some things to talk about. Just a couple of line items. We're gonna talk about some names that have been put out there, and one of our go to guys had some things to say about our QB. So you don't want to miss it. So with that being said, Sammy, bring us in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. And before we get started, let's go ahead and pay some bills. So playoffs. We're talking about playoffs? Playoffs? I really hate that came from us, but still. Yeah, you bet we are. Getting on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is the key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. If you're ready to place your first bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score six, or go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Like I said, I'm not sure what the lines are so far, but I'm pretty sure it's just like all the lines are I'm gonna say moving towards what Saquon's gonna do, whether or not he's gonna be able to continue his dominant season running. But I mean, either way, like I said, when you go on DraftKings Sportsbook, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's SICKSPORTS, all caps, no spaces. That's SICKSPORTS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Yeah. And with that being said, I don't have the official sound of the anvil, but you know what it sounds like. And when Clyde gets here, he'll let you know what it sounds like too. In the meantime, I'm your host for this evening, Chris Jackson, otherwise known as CJ. And we have with us, I'm not going to call him Big P. I'm just going to call him Pat because the thing is, it's already awkward as hell. So, yes. And we have with us.
Nope. You call me by my DEI name or face the penalties.
Okay, well, by your DEI name, that would be Patrick McGonigal. How are we doing tonight, man? How's everything going?
Busy. Sorry for getting everybody started late. I had some late customers come in. I wanted to talk a lot.
Fair, but you know what? If they're looking to talk a lot, that means business is booming, so I don't see why not. So
It's kind of hard to push them away.
Exactly. But you know what? This is the time of season when business starts booming for us because we start discussing all the players that we're looking for, the players that we want. And yesterday was no different, right? Because so for context, I saw that this person was requesting a trade, and I'm just like, oh, this has to be fake, because we've seen Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers. We thought that was fake. De'Aaron Fox got traded. I wish that was fake, but as a Kings fan or former Kings fan, you know what? It happens. But we saw that Myles Garrett requested a trade, right? And of course, we know who Myles Garrett is. We know what he's capable of. I mean, so my first thought is, listen, you find out what the Browns want for him and see if it's possible. And then
Chris, I think every GM has to see if it's possible.
Oh yeah.
How do you pass up a talent like that?
You don't, because the thing so I don't care how good your D line is. You bring in Myles Garrett, they're instantly better. Instantly. Because that's how good he is.
But not just by a little bit, not just by a smidgen. You're not just better, just a smidgen more. You're better leaps and bounds.
Oh, 100%.
With this one guy.
Yep. And that's the reason why, for me personally, when I saw that, I was like, yes, okay, that's fine. Now, the thing is also, looking at where it is, listening to what he said he wanted to play for a contender.
Yeah, I heard that.
And so then let me ask you this, Pat. We know what he's there. Let's just say they want a first round pick this year and a third round pick next year, right?
Which is really, really cheap.
But let's just say like they asked for that.
Okay.
Do you really believe that there would be a chance for us to go ahead and actually be in the running if they're offering that? Because mind you, at first Cleveland said that they weren't going to do it, but then they're just like, we're going to seek a trade partner.
Yeah. Yeah. Myles holds a lot of cards in this trade scenario. I don't think he has a no trade clause in his contract, but I think he holds a lot of cards. With that being said, I think he can come get a new contract, big old healthy contract, just like we did with Buckner.
Mm-hmm.
Gave up our first round for Buckner. Give our first round up for Garrett. And you got Latu. And you got Buckner and Grove and Adatomwe.
I think
I don't know if Lewis is coming back this year or not.
Quiddy's coming back.
Well, there you go. Trade Quiddy. Because he's gonna be looking for Tracy, you better stop. Don't start on me already.
Yo, Treesa's on it. Hey, appreciate you.
She can be brutal.
By the way, shout out to Taylor, shout out Eddie, Sean. Glad to see you guys back.
But yeah, where's that? Yeah, go ahead and put Quiddy in that trade package, and maybe you go from a third this year to maybe a fourth next year with him in that additional trade.
Yeah, because then it's just I think they know like they'll be able to re-sign him for cheap, because right now a lot of what the Browns have to do is centered around Deshaun Watson's contract, like being able to get out of it because of certain things. I think right now the biggest debacle is the fact that he hasn't been wearing, the thing for healing his Achilles the way that he was supposed to. So that apparently gives him the opportunity to void the contract because he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing with rehab. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that there's, they're probably trying to find a way out because that contract is horrendous. So, yeah. I mean, you have to really just find something. But, like I said, as excited as I was, and of course, that's what we hear because we hear these names being thrown out there. Then I really thought about it. I'm just like, he's looking to go to a contender. And we're not there. Honestly, it's just like, to me, it's not we're not a contender as of February 4th, 2025.
I will agree with you on that. 100%. But I do think we're a young and upcoming contender with a very, very young and very talented QB that's working on his stuff. Okay. That could be a deciding factor. Like, all right, nobody's guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl next year. Nobody.
No,
so you weigh everything out. And with the offensive firepower, AR, JT, Pittman, Downs, Pierce, everybody knows we can score.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So looking at our roster, I think we've got a good chance if Ballard pulls the trigger. For Myles to say, all right, yeah, I can keep my family right here in Cleveland. That's 2 hours away. Shoot. And you're going to pay me a big fat contract. And I got a young QB that's going to be a star in this league. I got one of the best running backs in the league currently. I got stellar wide receivers right here. Yeah, we could do something with this. Coach Lou, he's badass. Hell yeah, come on.
Yeah.
A lot of things in this variable. Not just that we're knocking on the door and we're ready to go into the Super Bowl next year. If that's the case, there's what, 2 teams he can go to that's knocking on the door right now.
Yeah.
Or
that would be more after so for me personally, any team that was a playoff team this year that isn't an absolute cap hell is potentially going to be looking to go after a Myles Garrett. Because I mean, if we're being honest, depending on how it goes, I mean, I think the betting odds started out with the Bills being the number 1 team for him. And the thing is, if you look at the Bills, I mean, you get somebody like Myles Garrett. There, you basically bring in Myles Garrett to be the person that you thought that you were going to be getting in Von Miller more consistently, but maybe that's a little bit different. But the thing is, like, think about a team like the Eagles. Jalen Carter already had an absolutely ridiculous year, and then you put Myles Garrett over there with Jalen Carter. They're going to be wreaking havoc on O-lines instantly. So the thing is, it's just like it's going to boil down to what teams have that sense of urgency to know that not only are you still getting a player who's still in his prime, who can still make sure that they're giving you, middle to late, sacks, a season, or middle to late teen sacks per season. So, but also being able to know that, yeah, you'll be able to do it. Now, the thing is, we can and if I can be completely honest, as exciting as the prospect is of having Myles Garrett, I don't think that we are a desired destination. But
we might not be. But again, there's a lot of things into this equation. His family is 2 hours away. He can keep his family there. He can keep his kids in the school that they're in currently.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour trip.
Yeah. But then also
it might be a 4.
But I think the thing is,
somebody drove out there before, let me know. But anyways, Ricky asked where Clyde is. Clyde got fired because he was being mean to me. He kept bullying me, and I called HR. He got fired. No, he had a lot of stuff going on. He's going to try to join later, Ricky. Joe, what's going on all the way down in Texas? Texans number
Mr.
1.
Mr. Camacho.
Shane, Tyler, what's going on, everybody?
Yes. But then,
okay, before I forget it, what better way for Chris Ballard to get back into the good graces of this fan base than say, F them picks, go get Garrett?
Yeah.
What better way? Chris, I know you're listening. You're still in my good graces, but this guy over here, he don't care for you. So we're not going to bring him to training camp this year. But that's a side note. No. Yeah. But honestly, I mean, think about it. And this will make Clyde happy when I say F these picks for this guy. I've never said F the picks, ever. But I will say it for Myles Garrett. F those picks.
Well,
you want 2 first rounds? I'll give you 2 first rounds.
I will say, and I will say it like this. There is another scenario where you can say F these picks and get a player that is productive, that you're going to actually get a lot from. And I'm not saying that they're on the same level necessarily. If his no, I'm not talking about Myles Garrett.
F them picks.
I'm talking about Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Look, instant regret. See, but the thing is, and for me personally, if you're looking at Trey Hendrickson, especially coming off the year that they had, because honestly, he was the most productive player on their defense, and even with that, you can't fake I know that we talked about the year before this past season where, we had like 54 sacks in a season, and that was like the high. You can't fake 17 and a half sacks in a season.
Dude.
You can't fake that. And the thing is, you can't fake that, especially coming off the strong side. So for me personally, if I'm looking at that, mind you, I would love to have Myles Garrett. Absolutely. But the thing for me is that if I'm looking at what it is, Lou Anarumo is now our defensive coordinator. He was a defensive coordinator for all of Trey Hendrickson's career when he was in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hendrickson now is, and mind you, Trey Hendrickson, he said that he's looking for a new deal, or just he wants out. He has one year left, and he's looking to go ahead and get that hammered down. I don't see them, because mind you, the Cincinnati Bengals are in cap hell. Joe Burrow's making, upwards, I believe it's like 55 million, 54 million a year. You're going to have to pay Jamar Chase over 30 million a year. And they have other contracts that are being paid out to different people to where you can't afford to be preemptive when it comes to Trey Hendrickson.
And they want to keep Higgins.
Yeah.
Higgins wasn't on the field very much this year because he wanted that new contract, and they was not coming off any numbers.
Yeah. And
so what is it they're going to do? Now, you're 100% accurate on everything you just said. But let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you want to go after?
I'd rather us go after Trey Hendrickson. And it's not because and I think for me, it's not because I feel like he's more talented. I feel like he's better for the business and long-term goals for what we have going on. Okay. If we were a team that was farther along in our progressions, right? Like, let's just say if this past season we ended up going 11-6, right? We know that AR, he had some bumps, but he was able to go and just like get it done, do what he needs to do. And we didn't have a lot of these question marks that we have on the defensive side of the ball. I would feel better about it. But the problem is that we're a team that's 8-9, that's coming off of an 8-9 season. We still have a lot of question marks in areas. And no matter how good Myles Garrett is, I still feel as though if we go after Myles Garrett, would that be a great piece? Yes. But the thing is, I feel like the sense of urgency that comes with Myles Garrett, knowing that we can get somebody who's going to be able to give us production and possibly not handicap us financially, is going to be a little bit different. Because the thing is, if you're talking about giving up 2 first, then that's fine. But the one thing, and like I said, I think somebody mentioned it earlier today when I was having a discussion in Spaces on Twitter, right? They mentioned the fact that we give up a first this year, first next year. We don't know what exactly this year is going to hold when it comes to AR. And the thing is, it's fair. It's a fair assumption. But the thing is, if you go into next year and let's just say AR doesn't have a good year, even if it's for development purposes, you're potentially looking at maybe going into, the draft looking at quarterback. But now there's no quarterback because, like I said, it's just like you're out on that first round. The defense is going to be good. But the thing is, at that point, it kind of takes away that option just in case you need that out. If for some reason AR doesn't get it together this year.
Okay. Even if he doesn't get it together, we could survive one more year with him.
But if that's the case, then you're re-signing him or you're re-signing him for that 4th year.
He's got a 5-year deal. He was a number 1 draft pick.
No, he has a 4-year deal, and he has a 5th-year option. And if you pay the 5th-year option, the 5th-year option is going to go according to it's going to go according to the average of those top 5, which means that you're potentially going to be paying him for 1 year close to about 48 to 50 million.
Right. So this year's his 3rd year.
Yeah.
Next year's his 4th year. You still have time.
You do.
On a rookie deal.
You do, but the thing is, at that point, like, and mind you, I'm not saying that this is the case at all. I'm very, very eager to see how working with the biometrics guy, being able to go ahead and put in that offseason work on a 100%, healthy body is going to do for him. So I'm not necessarily saying that, but what I'm saying is that from a business perspective, we're still waiting for him to take that leap. And for me, it's just like it's seeing him go and take that leap before we go ahead and say, oh yeah, we're going to give up 2 first rounders in case, because like I said, he could either ball out and be good, show that progression, or it could go either way just because, like I said, we don't know. It's the nature of the game.
Chris, me and you've talked about this team a lot this last season on this show, off this show, in text groups, over FaceTime, and we've both had the consensus that was really disappointed in this defense, thinking it was going to be strong enough to hold the opposition down, give AR time.
Yeah.
You bring Garrett in or Henderson, that's going to do that for this kid on top of everything he's going to be doing this offseason. I have no question about AR getting right. I have none. Now, that's to be seen. Now, Chris Ballard, and you guys are going to be shocked because I'm talking bad about my daddy now, but Chris Ballard has played that kind of close to the hip and not pulled the trigger for 8 years. He knows outright that, some picks are going to hit, some aren't. They're not all going to be home runs. But this one right here, you get a Myles Garrett in here, that's a home run. Guaranteed. Guaranteed to beef up the defense. Guaranteed to give AR time to learn a little better on the field and not feel like the weight of the game is on his shoulders every single game because our defense can't get off the damn field.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm there with you because, like I said, I was a big proponent of basically just saying, listen, we have to be able to understand that when it comes down to the team, or at least the defense, it, like I said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If our defense is at least 20th overall, then that changes the outcomes of a couple of those games potentially. But we have to. I think it's. I like I said, I like Myles Garrett. I do feel like I said, we can get output with Trey Hendrickson. We absolutely can. But also at the same time, we have to be able to understand that if this team is young, this is a team that we're potentially going and looking into getting somebody that's going to be productive that may not necessarily be that big name. Myles Garrett is looking to go somewhere and be a contender immediately. But the thing is, with him looking to be on a contender immediately, he's looking at a team that's looking to be there, that's in that spot right now. Like, the thing is, it's just like, if you're looking at teams right now, like looking at even the playoff teams, you're looking at playoff teams that, might have been out in the wild card or might have been out in the divisional that can actually afford it. They can afford to give up that first, and they know that giving up a first for Myles Garrett and then some is worth it because they know that that's going to get them over the hump. Like I said, that's the reason why Buffalo popped up into my mind first and foremost, because I said, listen, Buffalo, they weren't able to really get hands on Patrick Mahomes that often, but you get Myles Garrett, he's going to wreck a game immediately.
Yeah, but where's Buffalo draft?
I mean, they're going to be drafting.
Think about that.
Yeah, but the thing is,
they draft under us, right?
Yeah, but Buffalo also is going to be there. Like, that's the thing about saying that he wants to go to a contender. He wants to contend for a championship. If you're looking to contend for a championship, a fifth overall team isn't contending for a championship. You know that you're going to end up getting 18 and below that in the first round, because that's where the contenders are.
Right. So you're the GM of the Browns. Whose picks do you want? Mine or Buffalo's? Who's higher in the draft? Mine or Buffalo?
No, absolutely yours. But the thing is Myles.
So to me, Buffalo better pony up a lot more than I have to because their picks are always lower than mine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for them,
yeah.
And I think, and I think also at the same time, because mind you, the Browns aren't trading their first round pick, and they're picking second overall. So no matter what, it's just like they're going to end up getting a haul. They're going to potentially, and mind you, the Browns have never shied away from moving up or down in the draft. So even if they
just
have
don't do it well.
Well, I mean, this is Cleveland, but still, but still, it's just like you're going to see a lot of movement regardless. It just really just boils down to they're going to have to, like, whoever they go to, they're going to have to make sure that they are willing to go ahead and put him on a team that they're not going to have to deal with. Like somebody was saying, oh yeah, he should go to the Ravens. If you think that the Browns are going to trade Myles Garrett to the Baltimore Ravens, you are high out of your mind.
Yeah, they won't trade in division by no means. Oh, that before Clyde gets going, Ricky or Teresa, whichever one you are, I had cancer under my fingernail in this, and I had to get it cut out last Friday. That's what this is about.
Yeah, unbeknownst to us, so I probably said something that was inappropriate. But I'm glad my guy is not going to have to get cancer treatment for his pinky.
Yeah.
That would have been a pretty shitty way to go.
And they didn't have to cut it off, so you can't call me stubby.
Well, yeah, but that's also
why in your nose.
That's why Pat stays around, because he needs the health benefits.
Well, here's the deal. There's not a lot of benefits going around for people these days.
Yeah, by benefits we mean we just give him an aggressive operation game.
Who told him that?
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I don't know who told you that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, what I missed? Catch me up.
You missed me saying F those picks. Go get Garrett.
Yeah.
Go get Garrett. That's what you missed.
Jesus Christ.
Pat said F those picks?
He did.
For Myles Garrett, yes.
Wow.
I wouldn't say it for Henderson.
No, don't try. Listen, this is recorded live.
That's intense.
So I said, would you also say F those picks if we said it, and I said Trey Hendrickson, and then you said, like you literally Scooby-Dooed it. You Scooby-Dooed
I did, and then I said no.
Nah. But the thing, but why? But here's the thing.
Because I don't think you have to say F those picks for Henderson.
Yeah. I mean, he led the league in sacks last year. But no, it's different. It's different.
It's different, but the thing is, knowing like I said, if Cincinnati, I give you the same scenario. If Cincinnati says, okay, we'll take a first this year, a fourth, and then do a third next year, are you going to do that for Hendrickson?
Running it back first, fourth, and third.
First, fourth, and third next year. Are you doing that for
this
Hendrickson?
Year?
Yes, first and fourth this year, third next year for Hendrickson. Cincinnati's on the line with you right now, and they're saying that's what we're looking for Hendrickson.
How old is Trey?
Trey is, I believe, 27.
Yeah, if he's 26, 27 years old, I think so, because we're going to have to pay him, and we're going to give him a 4 to 5 year deal.
Oh wait, no, he's 30.
Oh,
that changes things. Okay, dial it back. We're gonna dial it back. I didn't realize he was that old. Oof.
What's up, Ricky? Not your show. Cool. Glad I can make it. Yeah,
I think that's Teresa on her husband's YouTube account. I think.
I don't know if I can do that now, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. No. Now that I know, because I was under the impression that he was 27, but 30.
Because here's the deal. And I know Myles Garrett is what, 28?
28, 29.
Okay.
28, I think, though.
Here's the deal. All respect to this guy, by all means.
Oh, he's 29. So
yeah. Myles Garrett is?
Yeah.
I think Myles, I'm not going to say who has more left in the tank. I just know both players probably are in as they both probably saying, a win now mode. So they probably don't want to, they're not interested in building nothing. But what I'm getting at is, thanks, Rex. What I'm getting at is I don't want another Von Miller situation. The Buffalo Bills gave Von Miller a 6-year deal or whatever it was when he was already like north of 30. And people were like, wait, he's going to play till he's 40? Because remember, he signed it like 33, 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
it was
like
he was
185
32
million or something crazy.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
but the thing is, I also think that there's a stark difference between the two because the thing is, Von Miller also was known for being a game wrecker, but also known for being very injury prone.
Yeah, true. I mean, not, and again, I don't. A lot of things are too said between those and two different players, two different time periods, two different trains of thought, whatever you might have you. But I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, that deal didn't make sense, and so I get it. At 30 years old, even though that's young in years of life, in football years, we already know, like, you're over the hill, and you probably still got some good years in your tank. But at the same token, I don't think we, talking about the Colts, are looking for that type of situation. Maybe Andrew Luck's last year, had he came back in 18, like, oh, we feeling good. You got a potential, like, look, this will put us over the top. We got to be able to sack Mahomes. That makes sense. But without knowing a lot right now, will Anthony be the quarterback of the future? What are we going to do with these other players that are getting older? I don't think that's the move. So, no, now I'm going to say no to the first, third, and the fourth for Trey.
Now, would you trade Quiddy a second and a fourth next year?
For Trey?
Yeah.
If I can immediately extend him to my likeness.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Well, I got to make a deal that makes sense for me.
Because the thing is, I'm looking at it like Quiddy ain't the long-term answer.
I don't
like we could say what we can go ahead and call a spade because at this point he's not what he was billed to be, and we're not going to be looking to potentially pay him. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you about you're right. And Quiddy's going to be good somewhere else, and that's unfortunate.
I don't know.
Think about some of the guys that have done that to us
that
we didn't know about.
Oh no, I get you, but the thing is, we know Quiddy. Like, and the thing is, we know Quiddy because of the fact that it's just like the billing with him is that he's a run stopper that can develop into a good pass rusher.
But that's been in a defense that required more of him. The defense required, unfortunately for our edge rushers, the defense that we've had under Gus Bradley, it required them to be superstars. In order for us to generate pressure and defend on the back end, for Gus Bradley to have had a top 10 defense, the bookends needed to be, unfortunately, Mathis and Freeney. We needed that type of bookend play because the coverage behind them did not allow, oh, you didn't get home, I'm going to kill you. Oh, you didn't get home, I'm going to kill you. But in a more aggressive system where there's another system of attack, I mean, because Quiddy has given you what every year? 8 to 9 sacks. That ain't 20, but he's been consistent with his 8 or 9. Am I wrong in that?
No, you're not wrong.
So I'm saying if you're generating pressure a little bit differently, you're sending a nickel off the edge. Oops, the left tackle had to, kick out, or the right tackle, whatever side he lines up on, they got to kick out, and now he's home. Like, that's another couple sacks generated, maybe. Like, when you look at sacks, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like either the guy is really, really good or the defense allows him to be really, really good. There, to me, is really no in between. It's really not. Because look at Trey Hendrickson. Like you said, the defense stunk for the most part, and he led the league in sacks. So he's really, really good. You know what I'm saying? But then you look at, certain schemes in certain years where it's like, damn, he had that many sacks? I mean, okay, I guess. But, yeah, they do blitz a lot, and people are lost on blitzes. And, I mean, you can kind of figure that out however you want to. So, the talent is not – Quiddy Pay is not a top 5 edge rusher by no means. But he's solid.
Not yet, but I do believe he will make leaps and bounds under Coach Lou. The way he runs that front.
If he's here.
If he's here.
Yeah. If he's here.
If he's here, I do think he makes some major leaps under Coach Lou.
But we're not trading him though. So that's the thing. Either he's
I would put him in a trade package to get Garrett.
But that's a Madden trade in my opinion. Like that, I mean, yeah, you give them something in return, but like I traded my buddy Quiddy Pay and some picks for
Myles Garrett before, so I'm
In Madden?
yeah.
See, it works. It works.
Online.
If you can do it on Madden, you can do it in real life.
Listen. I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you, in a user league, I won my Super Bowl off that trade. That was amazing.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. Bring that one back up. Ooh. See, this is a coin flip for me. Quiddy or Dio?
Always hurts us with these questions.
It doesn't hurt us. It gets us to thinking.
I know, and that hurts me.
So you know what? What's the wildest part about it? The fact that we have to think about it with everything that we just said about Quiddy lets you know how much we really just aren't sold on Quiddy.
See, this is
Not me. I'm keeping Dio.
No.
and so man.
And Clyde, put your Michigan bias aside too.
I am.
Let me tell you why I'm keeping Dio. Because last couple of years we've seen him play several different positions on that line, and he excelled at it. Can you move Quiddy to tackle? So, the more versatile player needs to stay. Because I'm telling you right now, Dio is going to make leaps and bounds under Coach Lou too. He has the nickname the Hurricane for a reason coming off that edge. Because that's what he does.
See, this is about to be the most contradictive statement.
What? Oh, man, I can't wait. Hold on. What we about to get?
Well, to me, Quiddy Pay is the better athlete, but Dio has the better attributes. He's much, he has crazy arm span. He has the ability to play in multiple positions, so he's more versatile. He's not faster than Quiddy.
He's not fast. He's not faster than Quiddy.
No,
he's faster off the line. Might not be on the 40-yard dash, but off the line, I think
he's not stronger than Quiddy either. It's just like I said. I think Quiddy's the better overall athlete, but he's not as versatile. So to answer Adam J's question from my point of view, my POV, I would say I would have to keep Dio, and that sounds insane. I don't even like that. And you said take my Michigan bias out, and I don't like that because this is forever, right? And I love everything about the kid. I love what he stands for. But again, this is a business, and we're at a point in time for the organization where, unfortunately, players have to be more than just character. We have spent that dollar. If I hear anybody else say anything about, we need, Colts type players, I don't even know what that ever meant.
He's a good locker room guy.
But put all that to bed.
He has 2,000 hours of community service under his belt.
Because as far as I've ever known, and as far as I'm concerned, I've always wanted football players to be nasty and mean. And do I want somebody that's going to constantly bring the organization into peril? Absolutely not. But the same token, I don't necessarily. Let me eat my words because somebody
nasty and mean on the field, smart and moral off the field.
Okay, wait.
You can have both.
Hold on, because I'm about to
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what we're talking about. Hey, by the way, while we're waiting for this, shout out to Adam J, shout out to Ricky, Rex, T. Collins. He said Duval. You have to excuse him. He just found out he has slight Tourette's, but that's my boy. So leave him be. What's up, Tim? And then Dean was going go Patriots. What?
He always says that.
Yeah. but go ahead, Clyde. Go back to you being in complete turmoil right now.
I don't care if a player is a player for the fans. I'm done with that. I don't need a man of the year. I don't need somebody that's gonna kiss your baby. I don't need the guy that stops and signs every football. I'm over that. I actually kind of want some assholes because I feel like they're going to take Sundays a little bit more serious. I don't need you to be a community guy. We're gonna support you no matter what. As long as you don't curse somebody's kid out or spit in somebody's face, I'm fine. But for everybody that enjoys the guys that are just like, he signed every football and the kids look like, I don't really give a shit about that no more. And the reason why is because at what point do you put football, the actual game that they play, over who they are character-wise? Because I'll tell you what, when they don't perform on the field, guess who can't wait to assassinate them as a player? no matter how good of a person they are. The fucking
fans.
fans.
Well,
AR is Anthony Richardson is a saint, and he's been getting killed because they said he can't play football. So who cares?
Yeah.
That's
So
where I am.
I'm gonna just say it like this, right? Because we act like we haven't had people who were questionable. I mean, Marvin Harrison retired, and this man was involved in a whole damn murder case. I mean, and the thing is, like we love Peyton
I'm
Manning,
not laughing at murder, but
and for
damn.
everything that we love Peyton Manning for, Peyton Manning was an asshole. He knew how to flip it and market and brand, and he knew what he was. But Peyton Manning was an ass. Okay, but the thing is, we love him because of the fact that he delivered. So the thing is, I've joked about this for years, but I mean, we're in year 8 of the choir boy conundrum, and we can't continue to go and just deal with what we're doing in regards to this. So I mean, personally, what's up, Mucus? So yeah, it's like we can't continue to go and just like go according to this. I don't care. Like, and Clyde, to double down, I don't care if these guys are just these great guys that we can put thumbs up for and we do great community events. Like, the thing is, that's going to be the case regardless. If you do your job and you go home, then fine. That's fine.
Wayne is a goofball. That's my homie.
That's my homie too. I know
he's a
Wayne
football
also.
coach
Yep.
in Michigan. First off, he's a Commanders fan. So
First of all, you can't leave the DEI out. If he's y'all's homie, he's my homie too.
Yo.
Yeah, he's your homie too. But he actually personally know him. But no, his team came out of the woodworks this year, the Commanders. He's actually absolutely been in like this, I don't know, cocoon for years. Like, nobody even knew he had a football team. Like, what are you talking about? And now, they went to the NFC Championship, and like now everybody's
now he's all raw. Go team.
By the way, fun fact, and I know this because I heard this from him. He said that when Washington and Detroit played, because he claimed both teams this year. He said that he didn't pay his Verizon to answer the phone.
Yeah, he will do that.
Yeah, I mean, he will do that.
He's a Michigan State fan. I'm a Michigan fan, and we haven't had a conversation about that game in a couple seasons. So
yeah,
there you have it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but anyway, here's the deal, man. Look, and again, I've been a part of training camp now for a couple years. I've been out there and seen the events. That shit is cool. It's fun. It's exciting. Of course, you want your players to get to know their community. But at the end of the day, they're paid to be football players. So what me and Chris are saying, be a football player.
But listen, look, I have no problem getting assholes. Just as long as they're not out here trying to recreate Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm completely okay with that. Like, I think the one thing that came out, like, and I think a prime example of that is the fact that we know Jalen Carter got into some stuff like during the draft process, which caused him to slide. The man has been in the league now for it's been 2 years now, because he was drafted the same year as AR. And we haven't heard a peep in regards to anything legal or anything crazy when it comes to him. Meanwhile, this was a guy who was basically a top 5 talent that we allowed to slide just for whatever reason. So the thing is, it's just like I get wanting to be safe. I get wanting to cover our heels because of what's going on. But the thing is, it's just like, unless, like, you got to have dogs. And the problem is that dogs aren't going to be those choir boys.
And what about when it's way worse? Look at Tyreek Hill. He had allegations of beating women. Look at what's his name? Kareem Hunt. He was initially cut from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, do people forget why he got cut? And I'm not holding it against him. I mean, whatever plays out legally, like we had our situation last year, potentially with what was going on with Drew. Whatever plays out legally, it plays out. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is, at what point do other organizations say, all right, it's cool to re-sign this guy? It's cool to be like, yeah, I'm going to still pay this guy.
Well, that's leverage, though. Because the thing is, from a business perspective, when you see things like that, if you have somebody that's balling out and then something questionable comes up, now that organization that would have had to potentially pay said player $30 million, now they might be able to escape with paying $20 million, because now you can go ahead and say, because at the end of the day, they're still owners, they're still a business, and they're still trying to make sure that they don't have to give as much to a player as they should, which is the reason why, even with a lot of these players, they can say that there's a reluctance to go ahead and just give them top dollar because of what's going on. But like, let's just say, for example, when Jalen Carter in 2 years, when it's time to pay him, if he goes through nothing else like what happened to him during the draft process, he's going to be the highest paid D tackle in the league.
Hands down.
Now I got a problem.
Okay.
You said me and Chris want the assholes. So again, you're leaving the DEI guy out.
No, Pat, because
I said be a dick on the field, but be smart and moral off the field. I want the same thing. Quit leaving me out. Or I will call HR.
Well, here's the deal, and it's not even this, but in the past, until you have made yourself anew as you're claiming to be, I'm just sticking to conversations we've had both on the pod and off the pod when you've discussed what type of players this organization has represented and what you want to be represented by. Because the first thing you talk about is how good a person is.
If your ass would have been at work on time, you would have heard me talk bad about my daddy.
So this is who you are now.
No.
Okay.
Just tonight.
Well, then good. Segue out of this. Sammy, can you please bring up some news that I don't say news, but a comment that Michael Pittman said, I believe today, when talking about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. By the way, Teresa, I appreciate that businessman.
Right steps, just like he's working with people. AR, I feel like is taking the right steps, like he's working with people that he thinks are gonna help him get to that next level. And everything that happened throughout the season, I mean, I felt like he handled everything great, right? Because at times it felt like everybody was throwing shots at him. I mean, he's such a young guy, but the way that he handled that with his professionalism, how he showed up every single day, he didn't sulk, and he showed up and worked, and those are the kind of things that keep me hopeful for him, that I think we're going to see improvement in him, because one, he's just, he wants to be that guy that he knows that he can be, and that guy that all of us know that he can be.
Okay, so this is very interesting to me because we kind of hear a little bit of an aftermath comment, if you will. Now, much of this was discussed in people's exit interviews, and we heard bits and pieces, throughout the season, after the benching or before the benching, after the benching, that whole type of thing. But to kind of hear Michael Pittman reflect now, and shout out to MPJ, because I got to talk to him last year during Super Bowl week. Really nice guy. But I really think that what this is showing is a player not only got humbled in his physical abilities, but he got humbled in humility as well, because he kind of understood football is something that I've been gifted at, and my gifts can be taken away from me. And so if I just rest my laurels on, I know I can throw the ball 70 yards on a rope, and I know I'm probably top one or two athletes on the field at any given time, I'm not going to make it far in this league, because there's work that I have to do. And I feel like Michael Pittman's expression was that of a receiver that is also a captain, and other captains has spoken to him and said, hey man, look, you're great, but we need you to be superb, and you need to work. And so I feel like he has the ultimate confidence in the work that he's putting in. And I think that they're going to do all that they can as a unit, when they're able to start throwing together, linking up, hey, you come to my town, I come to your town, you got a camp you hold, and I'm coming out, whatever, this summer, this spring, whenever they can start doing those type of things, I think that they're going to come together as a unit, Anthony and all of the receivers, and they're going to work. And I'm here for it. That's what that said to me. Do you guys see it differently, or do you got a little more to add to it? How do you guys think about it? How do you feel about
it? Go ahead. This is always fun.
I didn't know if somebody got to say something.
The biggest takeaway I took is that he is seeing the growth that everybody wanted to see prior to the benching. and now he's speaking on the growth.
Okay.
As fans, that's what we expected this year, is growth. We didn't expect AR to take us to the promised land. We expected him to learn and grow and get himself to where he can take us to the promised land.
Okay.
And now they're speaking on that. Oh, but let me interject. You brought up camps. Josh Downs camps coming up in April. I'll pull the information up here in a minute.
And we have the pleasure of working at, right?
Yeah, it's still in the works, but it's getting there.
All right. Chris, how do you see the Michael Pittman Jr. statement on Anthony?
To me personally, it's something that helps us not to speculate the way that we speculate and try to make our own narratives. Because when everything was going down, everybody tried to go ahead and do things. The old media yokels tried to say it was because of a back tattoo, or it's just like they're trying to say like all this other nonsense. And honestly, everybody was trying to speculate, but nobody knew what was going on. So all they did was just go with whatever they thought it was and ran with it. So it's just like it was basically opinion-based thought processes. And for me, when we go and we talk about this, oh, by the way, Tom Brady's a cheater. So with the way that we're looking at this now, like the way that I'm looking at Michael Pittman Jr., I'm looking at him like, hey, he took the words from the team. He took what we said into advisement. He didn't get down. He worked at it. He did what he needed to do, and he made sure that's what it was. So for me, if I'm looking at Michael Pittman Jr., and I want to let everybody watching and everybody who's going to be potentially listening to this know we're not in the locker room. So whatever we think or whatever we believe, we don't know because we don't see it firsthand. And all the rumors that were going around, everything that's going around regarding this, whatever they thought it was, we don't know. For me personally, I even have my own thought process about what they could have been talking about in regards to him showing up late and leaving early. Because like I said, I thought about the fact that, just being a dad, he might have just gone ahead, just been dealing with the newborn, dealing with the baby, prioritizing the baby over making sure that he's on the field, working and studying and doing what he needs to do. That's what my thought process was, but I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit there and say, no, Michael Pittman's wrong. No, because he has lockers that's right next to the guy. And I'm never going to go according to that as opposed to, or I'm never going to think something as opposed to going against the person who actually was there and lived it and experienced it themselves. So I say all that to say we don't know shit. And we need to keep our opinions to ourselves if we don't know shit. And for those media yokels that sit there and they want to go ahead and just put some narrative out there, yeah, dude, your mom's a philanderous lady.
You're ridiculous. So this is my thoughts on this, and this goes back to what type of guys I want in the locker room. I don't necessarily need my other captains or any other random player to break out in the TO Jeff Garcia moment and or T.O. and not Jeff Garcia, Tony Romo moment. That's my quarterback and cry. But instead, I would like somebody that's got some backbone and be like, hey, man, are you asking me a question about the game? Or are you trying to be, this investigative reporter? That's locker room business, bro. Whoever starts next week is who's going to be out there.
Yes.
What did Eric say? I missed it.
He said, hey, mom was popular.
Eric is ridiculous.
Eric,
Eric, write something so we can bring you back on the show one night. But here's the deal. Like, that's what is unpopular in today's NFL. But to me, that's what needs to be the standard. Like they always say, in this locker room, we are a certain brotherhood. We are a certain family. I don't care how much we fan outside of that locker room. That's none of our business. And so for me, I need players that'll be like, hey, man, are you talking to me about what happened in the game? Or do you want to know something that I'm not going to tell you? So I'm going to just tell you up front, I'm not going to tell you. Next question. I need a Russell Westbrook. I need who was that guy? Who was that? It was a football player. I can't remember who did it. definitely Marshawn Lynch. Not necessarily, whatever. I'm here so I don't get fined, but you got to put these reporters in their place, bro. Like that ain't none of your business.
Iverson practice.
Not the practice. It was another one. Was it Deshaun Jackson? Remember Deshaun Jackson had a moment? I think it was D-Jack that had a moment.
I need you to do me a favor, though.
I don't remember what he said.
Next time you talk like this, Clyde, I need the best Italian accent you got. You talking to me? Are you talking to me?
All right, with that, let's get rid of
No, hold on. Hold on. I got some info. Josh Downs camp is April 13th at the Colts practice facility, ages 6 to 16. And Kenny Moore is having a camp in Fort Wayne, May 17th. Same
Did we
age.
discuss this?
Did we? Not yet.
I better not, man. We'll talk offline.
I'm just telling everybody out there in Anvil land.
All right.
If you live in Fort Wayne, you get a chance to go practice with Kenny Moore. If you want to come up to Indianapolis, you get a chance to go practice with Josh Downs or have your kids practice with him.
I was about to say.
Handles, please, Sammy. And can we get the us handle down there as well? All right, Big P, where can they find you?
At Big B Colts, the greatest X handle in the world.
Ridiculous. Okay, I guess I'll do this first. And you can find all of us at Sick Pod Colts. Okay, where can they find you, CJ?
At CJ Colts fan on Twitter. Not because that is for old people.
And you can find me.
Say it. You gotta say it.
Go on, Clyde. Go on.
Find me
Instagram.
on X. First off, that insinuates a lot of shit. Am I on X? No. And it also could be something that's like X-ray. That's insane. But you can find me on X at Coach Clyde. Yeah, let me just.
What about the Facebook? Where can they find you on there?
On Facebook, you can find us at, and I have to say the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, same thing, and Instagram as well, same thing.
And
all right, fellas.
Eric, you can identify as a 14-year-old, but you can't run like a 14-year-old.
What the is going?
Sammy, get us out of here.
Talking about the ages for the camp. Ages for the camp, you nasty-minded heifer.
What?
Get us out of here.
Did not.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.